Netflix just raised prices again for the third time in 2 years, and you're annoyed enough to complain about it in the group chat, but not annoyed enough to actually cancel. Ever wonder why companies can keep charging you more and you still don't leave, even when you know cheaper alternatives exist? Today, I'll explain why some businesses can raise prices without losing customers like you're 5 years old. By the end, you'll understand exactly which psychological traps keep you paying more and whether you can actually escape them. Here's the deal. You're not weak. You're not lazy. And you're definitely not stupid for staying with a service that keeps squeezing more money out of your wallet every year. These companies have built 4 invisible walls around you, and once you see them, you'll spot this pattern everywhere. Your gym membership, your phone carrier, that software your entire team uses at work, even the coffee shop you go to every morning without thinking. They all use the same playbook. And it works because it's designed to make leaving feel harder than staying, even when staying costs more. The first wall is habit. Your brain is basically a really lazy efficiency machine. It doesn't want to think about every tiny decision you make throughout the day because thinking burns energy. So it creates shortcuts. You don't consciously decide to open Instagram when you're bored. Your thumb just does it. You don't evaluate 17 different coffee options every morning. You just go to the same place and order the same drink because your brain has that routine on autopilot. Breaking a habit requires actual mental effort, and your brain treats that like you just asked it to run a marathon before breakfast. Here's what makes this so effective. Companies aren't trying to be the best option. They're trying to be your default option. Once they're the thing you do without thinking, they've got you. Raising prices by $5 a month? Your autopilot brain doesn't even register it as a decision worth reconsidering. You'll keep clicking the same app, visiting the same site, and paying the same company simply because reconsidering feels like work. And that tiny bit of mental friction is enough to keep you locked in while they slowly turn up the prices. Now here's where it gets sneaky. The second wall is switching costs. And this one's designed to make you feel exhausted before you even start. Imagine you've been using the same photo storage service for 8 years. You've got 10,000 photos in there. Baby pictures, vacations, screenshots of recipes you'll definitely make someday. Now a competitor offers the same thing for half the price. Sounds great, right? Here's the trap. Now you have to download all those photos, figure out the new service's interface, re-upload everything, reorganize your albums, and hope nothing gets lost in the process. That's 3 hours of your Saturday that you were planning to spend doing literally anything else. Suddenly, paying the extra $5 a month doesn't seem so bad. Companies engineer this on purpose. They make it easy to join and absolutely exhausting to leave. Spotify knows you've spent years building the perfect playlists. Your email provider knows switching means updating your address on 200 different accounts. Your project management software knows your whole team would need retraining. They've trapped your data, your time investment, and your convenience all in one place. Leaving doesn't just cost money, it costs energy, frustration, and the risk that something goes wrong. The pain of staying feels smaller than the pain of switching, even when the math says you should leave. That calculation happens in about 2 seconds in your head, and staying wins almost every time. But check this out. The third wall might surprise you because it's not about your behavior at all. It's about monopolies, or close enough to monopolies that it doesn't really matter. If there's only one internet provider in your area, you're not choosing to stay, you're stuck. They can raise prices whenever they want because your alternative is going back to carrier pigeons and smoke signals. Here's why this matters more than you think. Even when alternatives technically exist, the illusion of choice keeps you passive. 5 companies own basically all the major brands you see in the supermarket. 3 companies control most of the internet infrastructure. 2 operating systems run nearly every smartphone on Earth. When the options are this limited, companies don't have to worry about losing you. Where exactly are you going to go? And even when competitors exist, companies make sure you're never quite certain the alternative is better. They add just enough features to keep you wondering if maybe the competitor doesn't have that one thing you use twice a year. They make their cancellation process annoying enough that you bookmark the page and tell yourself you'll do it later. Spoiler alert, you won't. Now here's the wall that might be the most effective, and it's completely psychological. The fourth wall is emotional friction, and it works because humans hate admitting they wasted something. You've been paying for that meal kit subscription for 2 years. You spent maybe $1,000 on it by now. Canceling feels like admitting you wasted that money. It feels like admitting you failed at the whole cooking more at home thing. So you keep paying, even though half the boxes end up rotting in your fridge because you ordered DoorDash instead. Here's what's really happening in your brain. It's the sunk cost fallacy wearing a really convincing disguise. Gyms use this constantly. You signed up in January with the best intentions. It's now July. You've gone twice. But canceling means admitting you're not the person who goes to the gym. And that feels like a tiny identity crisis you'd rather avoid. So the membership auto-renews while you tell yourself you'll definitely start going next month. The company isn't just taking your money. They're taking advantage of how you see yourself. Social products take this even further. You've got 15 years of photos, messages, and memories on Facebook. Your entire professional network lives on LinkedIn. Your friends organize everything through one group chat app. Leaving isn't just about losing a service. It's about losing connection, history, and presence. Companies know this. They're not just selling you software, they're selling you belonging. And belonging is really, really hard to walk away from, even when it costs more every year. That's why deleting your account feels less like canceling a subscription and more like erasing part of your life. This matters to you because these four walls work together. Habit makes you not think about leaving. Switching costs make leaving feel exhausting. Monopolies mean there's nowhere better to go. And emotional friction makes it feel like leaving is admitting defeat. You're surrounded. The companies that win long-term don't just sell you something good. They build routines you stop questioning. They lock in your data so moving it feels impossible. They eliminate competitors or make the alternatives feel risky. And they tie your identity and social life into their product so leaving feels like losing part of yourself. That's not an accident. That's the strategy. You're not trapped because you're bad at making decisions. You're trapped because every decision point was designed to push you towards staying. The pricing page that makes the cheaper plan look pathetic. The cancellation button that's hidden under 3 submenus. The confirmation email asking if you're really sure you want to lose all your data. The algorithm that shows you one amazing show right when you're thinking about quitting. It's all engineered, every step of it. And once you recognize the pattern, you'll see it in almost every subscription, service, and platform you use. So let me break this down one more time. Habit turns you into an autopilot customer who doesn't reconsider choices. Switching costs make leaving feel more painful than paying more. Monopolies mean you don't actually have better options, just the illusion of choice. And emotional friction makes quitting feel like admitting you wasted time, money, or identity. These companies aren't just raising prices and hoping you don't notice. They're raising prices because they've built walls so high that even when you notice, you still won't leave. They've studied your psychology, your routines, and your social connections to keep you exactly where you are. So here's the real question. Now that you can see exactly how these 4 walls trap you, which subscription are you actually going to cancel this week? Or will you just keep telling yourself you'll do it later?